Can Football Manager predict the future? Well, I'm chasing lamely and I'm mad enough to find out. So let's predict the future. Well, thank you very much for joining me and watching. So before we predict the future, we're going to have a quick look at the setup because that feels like the right place to start. And to look at the future, we're going to have all the leagues loaded, every league in the game loaded, to make that nice and easy for us. I've left the Welsh League playable by accident, which is fine. I'm sure it won't slow things down too much. We've got the English League playable, everything else is on view only. So what we're planning on doing today is that we are going to just predict the 2020-2021 season, and we're going to see how things shake out. We'll only cover, because I feel like if we try and cover all the leagues, although we could cover all the leagues, it will take forever. We will cover, of course, England, we'll cover Italy, Spain, Germany, France. We'll cover the big European leagues, we'll cover Brazil as well maybe, and we'll see how these things shake out. So we're going to sim forward just one season in this episode and see who wins what. See if Football Manager can in fact predict the future. It's going to be a while for me, but it's going to be a blink of an eye for you. Let's come back when we've got the future predicted for us. It's 1 year later. We have arrived July the 12th. I chose July the 12th for a reason, because that's the day after the European Championship finishes. It was a very logical choice. Let's have ourselves a look at the leagues around us. And I guess we probably start with the Premier League, because that's, the one you guys probably most came to see. Obviously this is last season because I skipped past the reset date. So this season, the Premier League will be won again by Liverpool, which will make the Liverpool fans happy. City finished second apparently. United third, which seems a stretch, but it could happen I suppose. Chelsea fourth, and Arsenal also somehow picked up a Champions League spot, which kind of tells us that one of these teams won the Champions League. Spurs and Leicester also qualifying for Europe. We're seeing Sheffield United, West Ham and West Brom go down, so Leeds fans, you're going to survive, don't panic. So that's the Premier League in terms of the end of the season. I don't know if I've got any way of seeing from this what the player stats were. I don't think it saves them. I'll make sure we do that again. If we do a future, we're going to do a future video. We're going to skip forward a few years and do another video, but I'll make sure I capture it while we can still see the player stats, because I didn't think that through. So to Germany, for no good reason other than it was next alphabetically, we have found ourselves seeing Bayern, of course, winning the league. Why would Bayern not win the league? It's, that's what Bayern do. Dortmund second, no big surprises here. Mönchengladbach, Leipzig may be a big surprise. They finished behind Mönchengladbach. But then Hertha Berlin, Schalke and Eintracht Frankfurt make up the top seven. No big surprise there. I think Mainz going down, probably not a big surprise. Union Berlin and Arminia Bielefeld. I don't think there's any big shocks there. Okay, I lied, I can't alphabet. France is next in the alphabet after England. France, not Germany. That's not how that works. PSG win the league, no surprise there again. Lyon, Monaco, Marseille and Lille make up the European spots, with Strasbourg also qualifying for the Europa League. I'm guessing through the French Cup. Feels like it. Yeah. Serie A again, not many surprises. We've got Juventus or Zebra. Juventus are top of the tree. With Milan, second place for Milan is a pretty good finish given their recent history. Lazio, Atlanta, Inter, Roma and Napoli qualifying for Europe, with Verona, Genoa and Spezia going down. So I don't think there's any big surprises in Italy to get us. I think you could probably have picked these winners if I'm completely honest. Looking at La Liga, Atletico Madrid is the surprise pick to win the Spanish title this year, with Real Madrid second, Barca and woeful third. Bilbao, Sevilla and I forget is that Real Sociedad? I think it's Real Sociedad finishing sixth, which I guess is a surprise. Villarreal as low as seventh. Huesca, Elche and Cadiz going down is not a big surprise. Valencia finishing eighth is a surprise to me, unless they've been on some decline I know nothing about. Take a quick look at Argentina as well, for reasons that, we should cover a bit more of the globe. Boca win the league, I don't think that's a big surprise. I don't fully understand what this means up here. if I'm completely honest, I think it's probably some kind of playoff for European spot.
Oh, you idiot!
The league completed itself. They're only playing 23 games in 2020-2021, as far as I'm aware, because it's gone on to a new season, having updated. River second, Independiente third. There's no big surprise there. I don't know how this relegation system works, but those teams aren't people. I mean, Arsenal de Sarandi, I guess, might be a surprise going down, but no big surprises there. So we can safely say this league this season not throwing up any big surprises. But let's try one more league and see how that shakes out. Because I didn't want anyone to feel left out. The Scottish League, no surprises there. Celtic win, Rangers second, St Johnstone third, Hibs and Aberdeen. I guess maybe a surprise that Aberdeen were that low, but I haven't followed Scottish football properly in years. Hamilton going down. So, having done the leagues, let's have a look at some transfers. Let's see if there's been any big surprising transfers that we should be aware of in any of those leagues. I decided to keep it simple, just look at the big world transfers, sorting by order. Bentancur to Man United for 84 million, Martinez to Chelsea for 66 million, Milinkovic-Savic going to PSG for 64, Skriniar going from Inter to Barca for 51, Jadon Sancho joins Spurs in this universe for 46, Memphis Depay 55 to Manchester City, Nuno Mendes for 41 to Spurs. All the big money is being spent in England, more or less. Jordan Veretout going to Man City for 51. Pereira going to Madrid for 39.5. Same price for Szoboszlai to City. And Di Lorenzo from Napoli to Liverpool. Alan Saint-Maximin joined Real Madrid from Newcastle, which I guess is a bit of a surprise as a transfer. Nikola Milenkovic has gone to Milan for 42 million. Theo Hernandez has gone to Man City for 48 million. Nothing jumps out as being a big surprise. Christopher Aya to Liverpool for 27 million. Emre Can from Dortmund to Bayern for 41 million. I think we can all agree that's a lot of money for Emre Can. Ajax splashing out on 36 million for Steven Bergwijn is pretty big. I don't know the last time Ajax spent money that big. There's nothing here that jumps out as being specifically special. Divock Origi going to Leicester for 15.75 million is a lot of money. Big transfer for Divock Origi. Ayoze Perez to Southampton for 18.25. Ansu Fati to Liverpool for 16.5 million. John Stones to Leicester for 12.75 million. There's a big surprise there, a bit of a shocker transfer. Didn't think John Stones can't be in his 30s yet, surely. He's not, so bit of an interesting move for him. Andre Gomez and Bernard both leaving Everton to go to other clubs. I'd have expected them to stay a little bit longer, but there's nothing here that's really jumps out as me being a big move. Yannick Vestergaard to LA Galaxy for 6.5 million might be a big move. That's got to shake up the league. But nothing there that's going to shock us. Just jump back a year, see what we missed that may have been big in the season or the year up to Christmas. Nicholas Stark to Red Bull Leipzig, the biggest transfer on this, allegedly 12.5 million. I guess it goes by something. I don't understand. That's supposed to be an order of price, but we can all clearly see those numbers aren't in the right order. German Pesela goes to Atalanta, 14 million. Anything that jumps out as being big? Jason Denayer going to Monaco, not big, surprising. Matt Ritchie to Burnley for 9.25. Swindon legend Matt Ritchie, such a legend I can't remember to say his name properly without stopping. But no one big moving. Usually Sven Bender to Hertha Berlin. Usually at this stage you see a big move happening. But I guess it's time to answer the big question. What happened in the European competitions and what happened in the Euros? So your Champions League winners are Barcelona, pipping Chelsea to the title, which is something I don't know if I can see happening. That's the way of the world. Bayern and Real Madrid making to the semi, a Clasico in the semi-final. That would have been a game to be at for sure. In the quarters, any big surprises in the quarters? Not really. Atalanta, I guess, in the quarters a bit of a surprise, but they usually do well on FM. Arsenal beating Tottenham, North London derby in Gdansk, for the Europa League. That explains why there are 5 Champions League teams from England represented in the following season. Lazio and Leicester getting into the mix as well in the final 4. So definite English dominance happening there a little bit. But I forgot to point out at the start of the episode, actually, not only have I loaded all those leagues on view only, but I've loaded all the top players from the top clubs in Europe. Every international player in the world is loaded, just to keep things on balance. No big surprises here, no big shocks again in the quarter-final. Anyone big surprising maybe in the knockout rounds that got through that we should be... Ludogorets getting through is quite a big deal. They got destroyed by Leicester, of course, but I say destroyed, they held their own in the first leg. But there's no other big shocks in the second qualifying round. Who did they beat to get to there? Must have been someone of interest. Beat Ferencváros. I mean, Ammonia Nicosia getting there maybe is a bit of a surprise. Things have started shaking up a little bit. Wolfsberger of Austria. You don't usually see 2 Austrian teams at this stage in the Europa League, I'm sure. Let's look at the Europa Conference, I think is what this is called in real life as well, just because we can. In fact, it's just started, so we won't look at that. So we go on to the big one then. I guess the big one, if I learn to click on the right thing at the right time, is, of course, we go to Europe. We go to the European Championship. And Croatia are the champions of Europe, beating Norway in the final. There's your big money prediction for the summer. Get down the bookies and put that on for sure. We're saying Norway, Croatia in the final with goals. In fact, that went to penalties. Not penalty shootout win is a bit of a shocker as well. But there you go. There are your winners of the Europa League. Croatia. How far did the big nations get? Finland made it to the semi-final with France. It's going to be a weird summer. A very weird summer. No big surprises there, except we haven't seen England yet. France beating Belgium in a 7-5 thriller in Baku. There you go. Maybe throw a few quid at that one too. Maybe see if that'll happen in real life. Where did England go out? England went out to Germany, of course, in the second round at the Aviva Stadium, which is nice. Spain went out to the eventual champions Croatia. Switzerland beat Sweden on their way through the tournament. Portugal losing to Belgium. So it looks like a lot of the big teams are going to take each other out. Wales are losing to Italy, Denmark to France, Austria to Norway. That's pretty much, I think, covered the entire footballing landscape for this episode. We've scouted through, we know what's going to happen in the future now. If you choose to run to the bookies with that information, I would like a cut. Only a little one, I'm not greedy, just a little one, just because I put that little bit of work in, just a little cut. But if you make yourself a millionaire, let me know in the comments below. And that's pretty much going to be the first episode. I'm going to come back with another episode of this once we get to 50 years in the future. We're going to transport ourselves now from a year in the future from now to the season 2070-71 and see how much the world has changed when we get there. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe on the channel, because that's the only way you're going to know when I release that video. And you probably should stick around for when I release that video. Until next time, guys, socials are down there, Twitter, Insta and Patreon. Buttons for liking and subscribing are there. I've been Chasing Lamely. Have a good one.